Hello everyone, welcome. Today I have a short video, I hope, on receiving. So the larger context is wish fulfillment, and maybe just a short context build up on that is typically it's being presented to us kind of in two steps: the masculine, the alignment, the process, the ceremony, the definition, right? And even in that, like how well defined, how broad you leave it. There's all kinds of theories. And then you simply move into the feminine, and you're opening up, you're receiving, and the word that typically follows is allowing. Allowing was huge in my environment, and that is synonymous with the feminine. And for me, for a long time, receiving was allowing. At this point, I'm seeing within our energetic structure, within the collective unfolding, let's just say it like that, there is another branch within the feminine, right? Within this receiving mode, and I think this is where the trouble lies in, right? Because first of all, we're kind of breaking it up within such a structure, right? Within our minds, and the doing part we're good with. It is easier translatable into a structure and follow through. But the receivings, because it's the feminine, it's more mystical. You can't quite put a formula to it. And so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it works better within certain people, it doesn't work so well in other people. But I think we got really tripped in this allocation that receiving is simply allowing. It is very static, it is very passive. And what I'm seeing is a very dynamic branch within the stillness, within the receiving, which to me, I get to translate it as being available. And you might think, well, allowing and being available, right? I mean, they're pretty close. You could use them interchangeably. In energy speak, they are completely and totally different. They're not in comparison with each other, or they're not in competition. And I'm not comparing them. They're both needed. They're both threads, I guess, right, of this weaving. And I'm sure there's so much more to it. But at this point, I'm seeing these two. So for me, let's take allowing and how we define, or how, just even from my perspective, I understood allowing to be this passive, non-doing. I'm just simply letting things come to me. And it's true. So energetically, what is happening, you're willingly, intentionally removing interference. You're removing self-sabotage. You're removing things that before interfered. I really like that word. You're just clearing the way of all possible interference. What I'm seeing collectively now, things have arrived in so many of us. They are close or even within, yet we are not available to it. And availability is integration, if you will, right? So allowing is the energy work. And when that energy is ripe enough, is the next ripening, the stage of opening up. But even when before I used to hear, oh, just be open to it, I would hear open and is allowing, just have an open mind, not physically open up your uterus, right? Like it's basically like that, energetically. That second center, right? What that means in practical terms, it is a very dynamic process of micro adjustments. Because imagine what it is that you're calling in. It is new to you. You don't know it, right? And that's why you're calling it in. But because you don't know it, you don't know how to prepare until it gets here. So the micro adjustments are literally, okay, the energy is here. I don't have to physically force something out there within my doing. I'm truly staying in my feminine, the receptivity, but I'm constantly changing myself, which means I'm doing my energy work, my breath work. I'm doing my introspection. I am questioning every thought. Why did this thought arrive within this context? Where did it come from? So it's a literal creation of space, a redefinition of your belief systems, a reframing, sometimes a clean cut death of certain belief systems. You are changing your personality, your boundaries, your definitions. That is a very active mode of the self within the feminine, the non-doing on the outside. Even though you might have to, so just responding, sometimes reacting, doesn't mean non-doing, right? But you're not going out of your way. You're not placing extra energy within this receiving mode. But if we are not creating the literal space within, the thing physically on an energetic level does not have a room to integrate within the structure that we hold. So it's kind of like, sure, you are allowing this guest because whatever, your partner has invited them over for dinner. So you're allowing them into your home. You can even participate. Sure, I'm allowing this evening to unfold in my own living room. It is so close to me. But if I'm not open to that interaction, if I'm not willingly creating harmony, creating the space, laughing with them, having a desire to participate and enjoying their presence, I'm not I cannot open myself up to that relationship that could further unfold, or to the opportunities that that relationship can unfold, right? So it's it's very simple when you're starting to become aware of it. And I think the other resistance was that we thought, well, if I'm doing certain things, or if I'm bringing structure within this receiving, I'm not allowing myself to move freely through this. No, this making myself available requires a change in structure, requires a change in behavior, it requires something very tangible, very physical. So just something to think about, see how this settles, but keep open, keep receiving. That is just the continuous harmonization of that wish fulfillment. So thank you. This is what I'm all about. This being open, being available requires a self-leadership, requires courage, And so if you want to know more about that, check out my website, check out my community, and I'll see you around. Thank you.